Something is very wrong in Derry. You can feel it the moment the episode begins, like the town itself is holding its breath, waiting for someone to finally acknowledge the nightmare crawling beneath its skin. And just when we think the mystery of the theater murders couldn't twist any deeper, episode 5 drops a truth so explosive it rewrites everything we thought we knew. Because the woman everyone assumed was just a quiet caretaker at Juniper Hill, the same woman tenderly guiding Lily through madness, the same woman Derry barely notices is the one person Hank Grogan was never supposed to be connected to. She's the secret. She's the alibi. She's the forbidden link that could shatter marriages, reputations, and an entire system built on lies. But here's the part that nobody sees coming. Hank didn't run to her to hide. He ran to her to fight back, to pull a lever hidden so deep in the story that only one person in all of Derry has the power to activate it. A woman with influence, a woman with history, a woman who's been underestimated by every man in uniform in this cursed town. Charlotte Hanlon. So the real question isn't, why did Ingrid appear? It's, why now? And more importantly, what does Hank know that the rest of Derry is still refusing to see? Because someone or something attacked that prison bus. Someone wanted Hank silenced, and someone is terrified of what will happen if he speaks. Today, we follow the thread that links a lonely widower, a trapped woman, and a soldier's wife who carries a revolution in her veins. And somewhere beneath all that, Derry is whispering, and it wants to be heard. The night everything broke. Before Hank ever became the monster the town wanted, he was just a grieving father, trying to keep a movie theater alive in a place that was dying from the inside out. The lights flickered every night, the customers got fewer, and the emptiness of the projection booth echoed a little louder every time he walked through it alone. Loneliness can be quiet until it becomes dangerous. That's when Ingrid entered his life, not dramatically, not with some forbidden spark, but with small conversations that lingered longer than they should have. A question here, a shared laugh there. Two people trying to fill the holes in their hearts with something warmer than silence. Hank had a daughter depending on him, a mother barely able to help, a business collapsing, and a town sinking into paranoia. Ingrid, on the other hand, had a husband whose presence felt more like a shadow than support. Two broken people meeting in a broken town. What could go wrong? Everything. Because on the night the children vanished from Hank's theater, the truth, the real truth, was too dangerous to speak. Not because the town wouldn't believe it, but because the town would believe it, twist it, weaponize it, and destroy every life connected to it. Imagine this for a moment. A black man in the 1950s, a white woman in a crumbling marriage, a secret meeting at the wrong time in the wrong place, witnessed by the wrong people. In Derry, that isn't an affair. That's a death sentence. So Hank kept quiet. He protected Ingrid. He protected her reputation, her safety, her life. Even as the town's fear twisted into accusation. Even as the sheriff's office saw an opportunity to close a case quickly. Even as neighbors whispered their suspicions like they were reciting scripture. And when the cuffs finally closed around Hank's wrists, the entire town exhaled in relief. They wanted a villain. They needed a villain. And Hank was convenient. But innocence doesn't erase danger, and lies don't erase what Derry is hiding. When the prison bus became a bloodbath. The transfer to Shawshank was supposed to be the end of Hank's story, but Derry had other plans. Somewhere between the darkness of the woods and the silence of the empty road, the bus was hit by something that shouldn't exist. Metal twisted, glass shattered, screams echoed. Whatever touched that bus didn't come from the world of men. When the smoke cleared, Hank wasn't dead, he wasn't captured, he wasn't even thinking. He was running. Running from the horror that tore open the bus like it was made of paper, and running toward the only person who would believe him without hesitation. Ingrid. Bleeding, shaking, terrified, not of the law, but of the thing he'd seen, Hank collapsed into her car as though fate had been guiding him there the entire time. And here's where the story takes a turn so strategic, so calculated, that it feels like it belongs to a different genre entirely. Because Hank didn't want Ingrid to hide him, he wanted Ingrid to deliver a message. To the only woman in Derry who had the power to make the town listen. who Charlotte Hanlon really is. Charlotte isn't just the Major's wife. She's the past Derry is terrified of awakening. Before moving to this cursed town, she wasn't hosting dinners or smiling politely at officers. She was marching in Louisiana, front lines, real danger, facing down men who wanted to silence voices like Hank's forever. She knows the law. She knows the loopholes. She knows how to make powerful people panic. And she knows injustice when she sees it. When Charlotte first met Hank in the jail, she recognized something the sheriff was desperate to hide. The evidence didn't add up, the case wasn't strong, and the truth was being buried. Her line, "By tomorrow morning I'll have MLK, JFK, RFK, and a bus full of freedom riders singing at your front door," wasn't exaggeration. It was experience speaking. Charlotte is the kind of woman who can turn a wrongful arrest into a national headline. And Derry does not want headlines. So when Ingrid shows up at the military base, shaky and desperate, whispering, "Hank is alive, and he needs you," every domino the sheriff tried to stack so neatly suddenly starts to wobble. Why Ingrid had to be the messenger. Here's the brilliance behind Hank's choice. If Hank contacted Charlotte directly, she'd be legally trapped. If Charlotte knowingly helped a fugitive, her credibility would be destroyed. If she hid information, she'd be seen as aiding escape. But Ingrid is a civilian carrying a message, not a fugitive. She's not breaking the law. She's not participating in a crime. She's not shielding Hank. She's informing someone with influence that a dangerous mistake has been made and that innocent blood might be on Derry's hands. Hank protected Ingrid from exposure for months. Now Ingrid is risking everything to save his life. This isn't romance anymore. It's war. A war against corruption. A war against fear. A war against whatever monster tore apart that bus in the woods. And Charlotte Hanlon is about to pick a side.